Everyone, I am finally here. Okay, we are here tonight. How is everybody? I'm super excited. Okay, I don't even know what day this is. It is Sunday. I think we're here on Sunday today. All right, so you guys, how has the week been for everybody? Where is everybody? All right, you guys, I'm giving you two. There you are. Hi, you guys. I'm like, wait. Is everybody asleep because it's Sunday and we're all going to miss the traffic rush in the morning? I don't think so. All right, how cool. Hi. Okay, I'm gonna say it's Stella. um, okay, so how's everybody doing tonight? How's everyone doing? Oh, Pixie. I love that name, Pixie. I'd call myself Pixie if my name wasn't Sloan. That's what I'd say. Okay, so I wanted to start off tonight. How is everybody? Is everybody well? Is everybody happy? Great. Well, I heard that another 30 days. I know. So what we all need to do is we need to get some black shoe polish, cover our face, black hoodie, black hat, and bail, right? This is what we need to do. I already did that. Stella. Oh, and I forgot to tell the people on Facebook I'm live yet again. So I'm unprepared and completely silly, but I'm going to put this up here. And then we're going to start talking about what happened today on my secret ninja run. Okay, so how is everybody finding their quarantine? Another 30 days. I don't know why we're listening to this. I guess we're waiting. I guess we're just waiting to see what happens, right? So this is what we're doing. We're waiting to see if this virus continues on or takes out. So I want to start, okay, first I'm going to start with the story, then I'm going to start what I think the virus is. So there are people that have issues with the virus. I mean, with people going out, but I was like, if you go out in public, my God, and you go into a grocery store, and I don't care how much you wipe down those carts, do you really think you're going to get clean? Like, they really should take them out at night in the parking lot and bleach the shit out of them, right? Because, oh my God. Thank you for the super chats, you guys. They should definitely do that. They should be taking this shit and putting it out and spraying bleach all over it. Of course, they can't find bleach. That's okay. But yeah, I had a nice run this morning, so I was able to run close to like 12 miles secretly behind the scenes because there's some tattletales in our neck of the woods. They get butthurt when you go out and like you climb secretly to the top of a mountain where nobody else is, by the way. These people get butthurt and they report it. Like they call up and they're like, so-and-so is running up the mountain and like, you should go get her. Seriously, they do that. So they shut it down. They ruin it for everybody. Oh, they're jealous, all right. Jealous ass bitches. Because who you hurting out there? I mean, because like my neighbor was talking today, she's lovely, and she was outside going up and down the street. But then there was like a couple holding hands, another couple. I was really glad to see that cute little dog, an old guy, his friend walking down the street. They're all walking down the street, but they're all within like 4 feet of each other. Because I'm watching it out my window and I'm like, that doesn't look like you guys are doing, anything. But it's weird that they closed down, maybe not playgrounds, because, little kids do whatever. Jealous idiots, so jealous. So what we do now is we go different places. No one can find us. No one can see us. That's just it. Okay, wait. Husband woke up in a homeless shelter. Wait. Oh, God. Homeless shelter. Bring that back, what you said. But anyway, when you climb up that high, how many people are really climbing up that high? Really, nobody. But I think outside is good because it's sun and it's exercise. And I am a firm believer that I think we're almost being spiritually broken mentally because we can't exercise. It sounds really weird, but if you can't exercise, how are you able to raise your endorphins to feel happy if you're not a happy person, right? Like, I mean, if you carry depression and those kinds of things. Yeah, the playgrounds are closed. I kind of get playgrounds in the sense that there's 500 little kids running around all the time. So I totally get that. But I think our mental health is important. So I'm either going to I was literally in my living room going, this must be like prison. I can't do a treadmill. I will tell you a treadmill story while you guys ask. Okay, I got to bring up my Keithy again. So after I had my Keithy, no joke, so my Keithy was probably just over 9 pounds and 22 inches long. Okay, so that's huge. And I gained 97 pounds with Keithy. And I was such a beast after I gave birth to him. Like I weighed 193 or something, and I started at 123. So we bought a treadmill. So while the kids would eat dinner, Keithy was a baby, I would run on the treadmill the whole time till I lost almost 100 pounds. I'm not joking you. The food was placed in front of me, but I couldn't eat it unless I kept running. So I would stay thin. That's how crazy I was. But it's a good thing, or like I wouldn't be able to wear these pants. Besides the point. Okay, so what I think's going on is, okay, yeah, I was tiny. That was huge. I think what's going on energetically, though, is that we are in the midst. I feel, and I'm going to say this again, a lot of people have said there's conspiracy theorists are wrong and this and that, but I think it's a combination of things to tell you. Keithy, I know. I can't help it. I love him. And he's a nice, healthy kid too. But let's see. How does your son feel about being, oh, my son hates being called Keithy. If he knew I was doing this or someone texts him, I'm in big trouble. I will be getting the hate texts. That's what will happen. Usually my phone goes off and then I get, you need to stop doing this. But I feel what's going on is a combination of things. And I wanted to talk about that energetically because I was just talking to a friend of mine on the phone prior to this who feels like they got the coronavirus. This person feels like that he got the coronavirus. Not tested for it or anything like that because there's not, any reason for that, but he definitely feels like he had it. Got the chills, lasted about 5 days. And he was saying, interestingly, the virus isn't alive. So it's not a living organism. I guess like when you put mumps in, in a vaccine, the mumps, measles, rubella, it is actually a live vaccine. It is alive. But I get the feeling with this virus, I actually get the feeling that it is a combination of like DNA altering. We were targeted. That sounds really weird, but that's how I feel about it. I feel like it's a DNA. So it gets in the body and it kind of reconstructs the way that we are as human beings. So I feel like that's what's going on. But I feel like there are 3 separate things. You want to meet Keithy? I'm going to drag him up here one night and you can meet him. He's so tall. He won't fit in the screen. I'll have to have him sit on the floor so he'll like this because he's almost 6'5", so he's really tall, my Keithy. My baby is super, super tall. He doesn't want me to say that either. Super cute. Super cute. And his brother's super cute too, but I can't even mention his name. That's an ixnay on that. Okay, so anyway, the virus is, it's one of the agendas going on. I am really actually quite concerned in the next 30 days that people can't go back to work, but I'm seeing people go through, and I hate to say it, but the Starbucks drive-through, because I'm there 5 times a day. I'm not really. I'm there twice a day. Don't admit it. Shh, don't tell anybody. It's my addiction. It's my secret addiction. My secret life is going through the drive-through at Starbucks. But those people are in the Starbucks and there's many, many people going through and there's always a line and all of those things. So when you're looking at it that way, there's so much impetus on going to the corporate businesses. But what about the little people? What about the little fruit stands, the flower people? I saw the flower guys trying to sell outside of Costco one day on the street. And I'm thinking to myself, these poor people are literally going to be flipped upside down. So I think there's a financial destruction agenda going on. Now, if you want to call that a conspiracy theory, you can. But I actually feel somebody negative is at work doing that. Okay, reincarnation. I absolutely, of course, believe in reincarnation. The premise of astrology is based on reincarnation. In a sense, you end up here from somewhere else in a different body, different time. The soul transfers here, and the natal chart is your birth map of potential. Not that you're going to follow it, because we all screw off. We're human beings. So we all screw off. So it's a birth map of potential. But in theory, we have been reincarnated. Wait, no, I haven't been to heaven. I will tell you a near-death story, though. I did have one. I had a surgery one time, and the surgery's fine. I'm completely healthy, all of those things. And you wake up in the waiting room. So they went and got my husband for, to come in and talk to me. And he was walking up so I could see him, right? Like I was awake. And he was walking up and I looked at him and he had a really weird look on his face. And I was like, what is that look on your face? Like, I'm thinking, what? Did I smudge my makeup or what's going on here, right? And he looks at me and he puts his face really close to mine. And we had this conversation before I ever went in for any operations, pregnancy. I said, if I ever die, do not resuscitate me. Like, I'm not fucking joking you. Do not, do not, do not. The instruction is do not. I don't care if I'm 20. I don't care. Well, I was be 22, 32, 40. Do not resuscitate me. I don't want to be on those. Don't do it. Don't, just let me go. I want to see what's over there. That's what I said. So long story short, I had the surgery and he came really close to my face like this. And I'm like, what is he looking at? So I was sitting there and I was looking at him and suddenly I felt my heart and my heart went like this. It went like a waterfall in like Sweden or something where the water goes in steps like this. And I heard my heart go click, click, click. And I went to him, oh shit, I'm having a heart attack. And I went right out through the middle of my back, stepped straight to the left, and was met right there by somebody who looked like Yul Brynner. A lot of you don't remember Yul Brynner because y'all are babies, but that would be the king and I, Yul Brynner. And my guide looked like Yul Brynner. Lucky me. Anyway, he was the one that did all those smoking PSAs, probably one of the first of his kind, telling you not to smoke because he actually died from smoking. Oh, you do? Oh, there's Andrew. Andrew remembers Yul Brynner. My guide is Yul Brynner. I don't think it was Yul Brynner, but he looked like Yul Brynner. And he stood right to the side there and he grabbed my hand, well, my spirit hand, and I started to walk that way. And in my mind, or over here, like I was in a tunnel, I could hear the nurse go to my husband, John, touch her forehead. And he's like, I could hear him say, no, she doesn't want me to do that. And the nurse started screaming at him and I could hear it like it was going down that way. So it's like I was walking down the hallway this way and I could hear the voices over here. Suddenly I could feel them, not feel them. I understood that they were messing with the bag and I could feel them doing something, but I couldn't feel my body, but I knew they were doing something for my body. And then suddenly I felt a hand on my forehead and I literally sucked right back up into my body, like right up, woke up and cussed that man out for pulling me back in. I was about to go exploring down this road. I literally cussed him out. And the nurse is like, holy shit, you weren't kidding. And I'm like, no, I wasn't kidding. I wanted to see what was going on there. But maybe I wasn't going to die, be in a vegetative state. So it would have been stupid just to die. But that's what actually happened. And it's just very interesting because from my firsthand experience, anybody in your life that you are emotionally connected or courted or threaded to on a heart level, like that you feel connected to, children, husbands, mothers, fathers, whatever, and you connect with them, then you're going to pull back in your body because you feel their energy to yours. It was so interesting because I didn't think I would do that, but I literally, this is probably 2012. I think it happened 2012. So it's been several years now. It was like 8 years ago. But so I literally went right back into my body, woke up just like a screaming brat and just like, no, why am I back here? Why, when I could go with the Yul Brynner guy, am I back here in this room here? But anyway, it was okay because I got to go see Keithy and Jason and it was all good. But I really did want to explore. However, if you leave your body too much, you probably can't get back in, right? So that was one thing. So do I believe actually that's not heaven. That's on the astral level. That's someone taking me to cross over. That's a different level of experience or a different level of existence. I've also been aware during surgery where I can hear the conversations around me and I'm telepathically talking to them and I can remember wanting them to put on like Black Sabbath music during the surgery and I was getting really pissed that nobody was listening, but it was because I was away from my body, not actually in my body, and so they didn't understand me because they really couldn't hear me, but I could understand what they were saying, hear the conversations, you know, I could see the people in the waiting room, I could see all of that kind of thing, so it was kind of interesting. That's not going over to heaven though, that's somewhat of a near death or out of body altered state due to some sort of surgical thing going on. So that was kind of interesting. That was an interesting thing. Now I know you guys are dying. We need to check. You know who we need to check? We're going to read out Rita Wilson's phone number again because we must start doing this. I wanted to see if Tom and Rita My friends, hello, folks. Anyway, I wanted to see if, because he always says that, hello, folks, like, what is that, buddy? Talk properly. I want to see if they're back in town. So I've been looking at their page. I know they posted something on Twitter saying they were back a couple of days ago. Oh, I stand corrected. Rita has done something here, and she's done it with Larry David. There we go. So there's a picture, Larry David and Rita. They are indeed back. And let me read the number so you can text. Wait, let's see what's on the second. Oh, these are old pictures because this cannot possibly be going on now, right? This can't be going on. I did a show actually with Larry David. I got hired. I sound like a crazy liar when I say this, but I got hired to do a show, and we were, okay, there was like 11 of us hired, and Larry David was going to be the host. And it was like writers and, you know, actors and different people. And I was a psychic person, and it was a group of whatever people. And we were doing a thing for Fox. So we were doing a run through for the network. But Larry David sat right beside me, and I was like, this was me being starstruck because I'm like, oh my God, Seinfeld. Fucking love Seinfeld. Had a Seinfeld moment today where I was in a store and I want to go swarm, swarm, swarm because a lady sneezed. But anyway, you'd have to watch the episode. So I'm looking, but Larry David was very nice. So anyway, Rita Wilson, here she is. So this can't be happening now, right? Or could it be? All right. And then we posted, well, that look on her face, it could be maybe. But this didn't happen today because we're on lockdown. So we can't be going on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and in our nice dresses with our hands down doing that. Are we allowed to do that now? Because I would like to go there and pose the same way. And then there's this picture again that's being posted. This is good. Oh, is that an old one with Larry David? Yeah, well, that's not a good one. Don't put your forehead first when you're doing it. Anyway, I've got to read her number out because she wanted us all to have her cell phone number. It's what she wanted, and we do need to phone her. We need to find out where she is, if she really had the disease, what's going on. Did somebody kidnap her? Is she under custody? What is going on here? And how did she get back to LA? Somebody corrected me that she came in through LAX or through there. And I thought she came in through Van Nuys. But no, TMZ, I know what TMZ said. I know TMZ. Harvey Levin, I know he said something like this, but let's read her phone number. So let's get our pens and papers. So her phone number is 1310. Now this is according to her thing. 299-9260. I forgot my glasses again. So we do need to call her because maybe maybe she's been kidnapped. So let's check Tom's page because we don't know if he's back. No, he just has his last post up. It's not a wrong post. He says, whatever couch you're stuck on, join our voter registration couch party. So that would be on Wednesday, March 25th. So that's the last time we had this little thing here. So we don't know. They're not there. So where are these two? Where are they? Where did they go? Where? But we must call Rita because we are concerned about her now. Now, I was checking out David Spade again, and he's doing his regular, you know, in style session. And then I looked over, who did I do? David Spade, them. Oh, Ellen. I didn't check on Ellen today. We must see. I know she was out exercising and telling us that we need to stay in, which is cool. I'm always interested in these little baby pictures she posts. That's kind of interesting. What's that? I didn't know she had a baby. Or is this just a dancing baby meme? Maybe it's a dancing baby meme. Okay, so I don't know who this is. This is a repost of somebody. Okay, so this is what we have, but she's not out today, so I don't know. Okay, so that's enough of stalking them. And then there was her and Portia cooking. So I don't know what's going on with everybody, but I'm looking for them. I can't find them, and it's like so upsetting to me. I know, folks. Hello, folks. Okay, sorry. I'm such a nice guy. I'm an asshole. Okay, anyway, let me digress. So let's talk about what's going on. Okay, so from last night, I had a viewer actually email me when I saw the man standing next to me that reminded me, I said he's not really like a flamenco dancer, but I saw the feet and the tap and I was pointed to the feet. Somebody, and the hat that I described, somebody sent me, God, and I wish I remembered who it was now, Meryl Streep. You know I don't like Meryl Streep. Why do you ask that? Okay, Meryl Streep was good friends with Harvey Weinstein and pretended like she was shocked when she didn't know what he did. She fucking knew what he did. I knew what he did, and I don't even know him, and I'm not even in that business. We know what he did. She can't possibly say, I showed you the pictures. Now you're going to make me look through my pictures again and bore the shit out of you guys. I showed you that artist Sabo did her, he paper littered Hollywood with all that stuff saying you knew, and he blacked out her eyes. I think I have that on here, maybe not. But I have the picture of her. I'm looking, I'm scrolling. I'm sorry, I'm really bad at TV etiquette right now. But there was the picture of Meryl Streep with the artist Sabo with Harvey Weinstein, and it's like she knew. Of course she knew. She did know. So did Oprah know. They were besties with her. Oh yeah, here we go. Where are these pictures? These are just really horrific pictures. Oh, well, this is a good one though. Look, this is pretty, this is, it says, hey, Harvey. It says it's Bill Cosby with Harvey Weinstein. It says, hey, Harvey, you're going to love my pudding. Okay, that's really disgusting. All right, so we're over that. But Meryl Streep, let me find that. Yeah, you know, as an actress, she's pretty good. But I've got to ask myself, where the hell are these pictures? I just downloaded it, literally. Okay, I got Mel Gibson. I can't be doing this all day. Okay, well, whatever. Okay, so you got to ask yourself, in our world, the world is actually changing energetically right now. So we are in the process of elevating on a soul level. So there is always going to be kickback from everybody around, kickback from people, from celebrities, from politicians, from regular people, construction workers, dentists, doctors, lawyers, whatever. There's going to be pullback almost energetically to keep us from changing. That's actually what's going on. It's very much a spiritual war. There are different components, though, from what I feel. There is the physical virus. Now, somebody called me tonight and said that it started in a warehouse in Winnipeg. And I'm like, you are not blaming the Canadians. AIDS got blamed on that Canadian flight attendant, and you people are not going to blame the Canadians in Winnipeg for setting that virus off. And I heard also that it got started in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. And then, of course, it started out of China in Wuhan, apparently. But there's definitely a virus. But when I look, oh, my glasses. I know, they're off my head. What the hell? I feel fat today, so I took them off. I wear them so that you look up here, not down here. Because when you get older, you got to look up, not down. Don't look down. Look up. Just look up. That's what we should all be doing now. Oh, my God. That's so great. Look up. That's what we need to do spiritually. No, I have my glasses. Look, you guys. They're right here. These are Guess glasses from the factory outlet. I love it. The Citadel by the Long Beach Freeway. That's what I was trying to remember last night, the Citadel. That's where I got them, and they're like 35 bucks. And I buy a bunch because I break them all the time running. They fall off, they fall apart, whatever. The glasses make me look fatter in my face because you look up. So it looks like I have more, whatever. Okay, what? Let's see. I think you are good each direction. Oh, up or down. I'm like laughing. I'm like, no, when you get older, it's like, look up. Eventually, when you live it through the end of this life, it's like you have nice eyebrows or a nice forehead, and the rest of you, it's just kind of like gravity. Gravity is the worst. Okay, Jerry Springer. Jerry Springer, I don't know. Don't we know that he's comedy on TV? I like Jerry Springer. I have no idea. Did he marry Connie Chung? And I don't know what happened to the two of them. Is he still on? I love their throwdown fightings in the audience. I love that. I used to think it was funny. My friend's daughter used to get hired to do that. She was an astrologer and a psychic as well. Actually, I should give her a shout out. She has a website called psychicbitch.com. I found that very apropos. But anyway, her daughter used to get hired to do the Jerry Springer stuff, which I thought was quite interesting. TV is entertainment. This is what I tell you guys. TV is entertainment. So there is a shift in the energy. TV, the way that we know it, and movies, and the way that we process it is not going to be the same. Okay, so I love Ozzy, and I can't say anything. I can't hear you. Okay, sorry. So TV is part of how we focus on things. So when stuff comes through the TV at us, we tend to believe it. Remember when you were little kids and you saw something, you're like, Mom, that's cereal, it's good for you. And your mom's like, no, Cocoa Puffs are not good for you. You're going to have eggs, right? So it's like that. So what's going on right now is there is a raising of energy, a raising of consciousness. And so people are fighting it. Obviously, I don't like Joel Osteen. Oh my God, did that come out of my mouth? That's Smiley Guy. Smiley Guy, I mean, his concept isn't bad. He's just saying be nice and religion and all of that. That's not bad. Something about his smile. I did a video on Mac Miller on my YouTube. I did a video on him. Okay, Ellen bothers me for... how do I describe Ellen? I don't watch her show, but I feel like Ellen is like a robot. She does things on purpose. It's a whole sculpted, structured thing. And that thing is what we see on camera. And that thing is what works. I don't believe that she's, I don't know. I don't know what it is about her that bothers me. It might be the dancing. I probably don't like the dancing. I probably don't like that. Yes, there's definitely a heaven, but I don't think it's in the way that we think there's a heaven. In like an old white guy in a robe, or a cute old white guy in a robe, or a guy with a beard in a robe up there, which he wouldn't have been white anyway, but that's all besides the point. My understanding of it is it's energy, okay? It's energy. So when we look at everything around us, I think this virus is attacking us energetically. I love Steve McQueen. You know, he came to me. You know, oh, that guy, that's who it was. Thank you. Somebody wrote me that. I got the Max guy, and I guess, what was he, his stuntman or something? I had no idea. I heard the name, I saw his face, and that's who crossed Steve McQueen over. I put it in my video. Because on the 24th, Maury Povich, okay. Oh, Connie Chung married Maury Povich. Whatever. Somebody married Connie Chung, okay? Somebody married the woman. She was cute, so somebody married her. No, but Steve McQueen was here. I had been talking about Marlon Brando, and when I finished my video, I just walked over there, and I heard something. I was cooking eggs, and I heard something bang the can. I mean, the cooker, whatever, the pot. And I heard somebody do that when I went in the bathroom. I came back out, and I was like, who's there? But I couldn't see them. And I heard really quietly, it's Steve. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I don't care. You know, I'm going to bed. And then I said, Steve who in my head? And I heard McQueen, and I went, God, geez. And it was on his birthday. And so not somebody I normally, and I don't know about that Jeffree Star, not somebody I normally channeled, but it was interesting because he said that Max guy crossed him over. I don't know who that Max guy is. So I don't know. And I think I'll put my sunglasses on now because they're here and I'm missing them. It just, oh, see, my hair's getting all creepy. There. We're ready for running. I have my morning running makeup on. Not that you care. But I think this is an energetic shift. So I think actually what we're being attacked with is a virus that actually, if I could word it, I think it corrupts the body's energetic system. So I think it corrupts it. And that's why the people are dying. So it has something to do with the way that we're trying to raise our energy up, and it's pulling us back down. And as a result, people are passing away. Obviously, people with issues. They are saying, some young people and everything, just wash your freaking hands. Wash your hands. Don't cough on people like the chick that coughed on me. Oh my God. All I'm doing is looking for jelly beans in the store, and some bitch ass is coughing on me behind me. And I'm like, it's like the third time this week. I'm like, okay. In my head, I'm like this, it's not going to get me. You can't get me. You can't get me is what I'm thinking. Of course, that could be delusional. But I think it's corrupting our energy energetically so that we're being pulled backwards. And it's about a shift and a change. Now, as I was saying earlier, the way that we can actually manifest this and move it upwards is through prayer, meaning remove fear. Whatever your fears are, common sense, because if you're going to get something, you're going to get it anyway. Wash your hands, do your exercise, try to eat properly. Don't eat a shitload of jelly beans or whipped cream, although it is actually pretty freaking good. But don't do that because the virus likes sugar, so don't do that. I'm going to have to detox from that. But you start praying and start removing the energy upwards and take it from down and move it up. So when someone makes you afraid, change the direction of your thought. Look at it as an observer. Look at it from detached. Observe, do not absorb. So look at everything that's going on. Watch the news people doing their best to talk to you in a certain way. Take the information that makes sense to you. It's not like the virus is going to come running through your front door. Like, get a grip. You know, if you're out, I guess, if you're in a gambling hall or in a bar or whatever, yes, and a chrome is a thing, whether people want to know it or not. It is part of the satanic cult, blood cult. That is a thing. I know it to be true. I know it 30 years ago. I know it 35 years. I know it before I came to California that it was a thing. It's never not been a thing. It's been a thing all the way throughout time. It's been a thing. And as I was saying, if you look into movies like Weeds, I just finished watching Weeds, and I love it because it's about a drug dealing mom. So, you know, I identify. I'm kidding. But I love Breaking Bad. I love Weeds. I had never watched Weeds. So I had Netflix. I'm watching Weeds. I think it's season 7, episode 6, somewhere in there between 6 and 7. The woman with the cancer, the neighbor of Nancy, she says she's going in for chemotherapy. She had her wig on or something, or she was going to get her wig. And she, you know, her breast got removed. So that's pretty traumatic. So she comes in, and in whoever wrote this, in random conversation, she's like, you know, I wonder if those socialites are still stealing the brown skin babies. She says it. This is in 2006, all right? I've looked at the episode of 2006. And she says, and drinking their blood to stay youthful. And I'm like, this writer know what he'd be talking about. So we know that this is what's going on. We know this is what's going on. So it's not a secret. That is part of what's going on, okay? There is that agenda. That shit is happening. These people do that. It is a blood cult. Now, I literally was telling people today that I don't think everybody who is a Satanist is like that. They're entitled to their opinion and their religion, and they can think anything they want. We don't really know. We know what we know. Not all of them are doing any of those blood cult things, but there's definitely a blood cult. As I said, research Nicole Kidman. Research the family she came from. Research Fiona Barrett. These are facts. Her father was brought up on child hunting charges. Anthony Kidman, father was brought up on those charges. I keep harping this because it sounds fucking absurd. It sounds crazy, and it sounds just ridiculous. He was charged in Australia with that. He did not make it to court because he escaped to Singapore and either fell down the stairs or had a heart attack. We're not sure which, because we were told 2 or 3 or 10 different stories. So that's a fact. Now, and what was he charged with? Oh, that's right. Child hunting. Child hunting. Like duck hunting, but child hunting. So that's factual, or at least from the court papers. And if you know Fiona Barnett, she's been speaking out about it. Now there's Kathy O'Brien that goes all the way back to Bush Sr., not little Bush that's out running around, but dead Bush Sr., goes back to that. And child hunting, yeah, that's what they were doing. I mean, I'm not making that shit up. I don't go around saying that. That's actually in the paper. That was forwarded to me 2017, and I think it happened 2015 or 14 or something like this. Look, I'm picking up my shirt again, right? On camera. Because I do that. Because I throw a turtleneck on over sweaty workout clothes and try to look decent. But yeah, that's child hunting. So this stuff does go on. This stuff actually goes on. And again, it's been pretty much scrubbed off the internet. But if you look up Mohawk children from... oh my God, now Jesus, I know it. BC, and I just forgot the name. You guys know the name where it is in BC. I can't remember the name right out of my head. So look up the Mohawk children when the Queen and her husband went and took these kids from the orphanage, and they never came back. You're in an orphanage. Y'all go. Where the hell are you going? Right? Right. So I'm not making that part up. I do feel like that's part of what's going on. And then there's a third agenda, which I feel really has to do with the spiritual element. Kamloops, thank you. I only go in and out of there. The little airport in Kamloops is like this because it's relatives are up there. So, I mean, like, we're from Canada, so we went there every Christmas. And I'm like, what's the city? It just went right out of my head. But the kids were missing. I mean, we knew about this in Canada, and the queen was always the one there. It was like a big open secret, and nobody says anything. It's really quite weird. It's just really weird. Okay. Oh, Carrie Fisher. Yeah, you know, Carrie Fisher, I never really cared for her. I know a lot of people did. I wasn't a huge fan. I was not a huge fan, but thank you for that. Your name went by and I can't even read it, but I wasn't a huge fan of her, but I did feel when she died that something didn't sit right with me, and I've not actually channeled it, but something didn't sit right with me with it, because I immediately heard no when I heard that she died. Like, I literally heard no. So whatever happened to her was not how they describe it. It wasn't how they describe it. So I don't know what happened to her. Yeah, they said the virus started in Winnipeg. I know, they want a Canada bash again. No Canada bashing. Please, no Canada bashing. Just stop with the Canada bashing. Because remember, it was that flight attendant that came out of Montreal, and he was a hoochie mama in all the bathhouses with all the boys. Who could blame him? But then, you know, they all got AIDS, and they're like, Mr. Canadian flight attendant gave everybody on the planet AIDS to begin with. He was Typhoid Mary, you know, the one that spreads it. So they said. I feel sorry for him. I feel like he was the Canadian scapegoat. My people don't do things like that. No, we could, but I don't know that one guy's responsible for all that. I'm drinking, sorry. Gobble, gobble. But when you're looking at the energy, so the other part of this is a spiritual war, because we are going to have to, when you think about it, we are going to have to perform in this world in an entirely different way. So all of us on this planet, up until this year, like right now, whether we are 70, 80, 90, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, our world is never the same. So the kids that are 5 probably aren't going to notice it, but we are not the same after this. So everything that we do is entirely different. So it's opening up again, because I really feel like the earth, in fact, I'm pretty sure of this, the earth has been surrounded with an energy that has removed creativity, because this is actually how I feel about it. I feel that we are not able to create from the essence of who we are, literally on a soul level. And I feel that that's part of what's going on, but it's only one block of what's going on. So there's 3 different things happening at once. Definitely with that, there's a bunch of different things. I am also feeling that, okay, April, I really can't see this ending before June. I really can't see this before June. Lady Gaga wore a meat dress. That's all I'm going to say. Why are you wearing a fucking meat dress out there? And why are we watching that? When they mentioned Lady Gaga, I'm like, I don't care if she can sing. I really don't care what she can do. I'm going to pull that picture up again. Y'all are going to look at it. Because you need to understand that if people do this, it's not just for shock value. There is another purpose behind when they do this, okay? And it's not what you think, because nobody in their right mind, it's not cool, it's not inventive, it's not even fun, it's an abomination, and it's done purposefully, and it's done to fuck with us. That's what the media does. The media fucks with the people. So you've got to be very careful what your little kids watch. I'm going to find this because I know I showed you the other night and y'all went, ew. The media basically is designed to financially garner everything from you it can, whether it be in selling you cigarettes. Remember when the FDA said they're safe? Exactly. Well, they're not safe, actually. When the FDA, where the freaking hell is that? Okay, now we got to go to my Facebook again and pull it up off of there, because I want you to see when you're talking about Lady Gaga, I really want you to understand, I'm not being a basher, good for her. However, it's intolerable to me that these people do this. Number one, you're wearing a meat dress. What kind of meat is it? And if it's animal meat, why are you wearing that out in public? What is the point of wearing a meat dress? It's not ingenious. It's not smart. It's not good. It's not even creative. It's ostentatiously boring and fuck you in your face is what it is. It's not actually anything creative at all, because we could all do that. Now, in the context of a blood cult religion, I'm looking for her picture and bloody hell, I'm going to find it. In a blood cult religion, there's a purpose behind it. But if you don't know that, then you're just kind of geared to go, oh, okay, where the hell is that picture? Okay, first we're going to look at her. There she is in the meat dress. Okay, so it looks like a dress, but then they have to tell you, oh, she's in a meat dress. Okay, well, fuck off with the meat dress. And where are you, PETA people? But this is where I draw the line here. Why is she out in public like this? Ask yourself what this outfit represents. Why is Ellen have it on her t-shirt? Why are Beyonce and what's his name? Why do these two have it? What are they doing? What, I guess this is Ben Stiller, and he's got a paintwork of it, and there's Ellen in seclusion with the damn thing on her hoodie, her hoodie. So there's definitely something going on. If you don't think that that's something else, then explain to me. I want these idiots to explain to me why they're doing it and why it all mimics that. I know why it does. I believe I know why it does. Yes, frazzle dip. That's all I'm saying. We went through that last night. We don't need to go through the snuff film again. But that's what they're referencing, because when you wear artwork on your body, you are representing it, which has always been an issue of mine with clothes. Like, I've got to put someone's name across my front. Like, here I go. Let me put this name. No, because that's a form of claiming energetically. When you wear something on you with somebody else's name, they're claiming you. They are claiming you. Yes, I was going to talk about the tap dancer. I'm not forgetting. But they're claiming you energetically. So we all have to restructure. So in order to elevate our energy, the first thing is we have to detach from things that we thought were comfortable in our life. So our favorite sweatshirts, our favorite actors, our favorite musicians, our favorite cars and establishments and whatever, our favorite mountains we run. We have to start stepping back. Our favorite gyms, makeup companies. We have to actually step back from that and detach, so it holds no value. When you are neutral energetically, you cannot be pulled in one direction or another. You cannot be manipulated. You cannot be used. You energetically are able to stay very directed. You can look at something and make a decision for yourself. So that's the first thing. The second thing is with fear. Fear causes more fear. Fear causes more fear. It causes a lot of fear. Fear causes fear. So again, what stops fear? Most people will describe to you or at least the people I've talked to, that I have clients that are in the middle of a terminal illness, dying of something, and they know they're going to die. What stops them from being fearful is their faith. So a lot of people on this planet have to get reacquainted with their faith. You have to get reacquainted with it, because there's something about that keeps you held in fear. You're held in fear. You don't want to do that. You want to actually step forward and say, if I die, then it's okay. I believe there's something else. But the fact is that everybody's so afraid. They must not fucking believe there's anything else out there. And that's just not true. Everybody says they're spiritual. Well, what are you afraid of then? I mean, we're all going to die. So I don't understand that. I really don't. But I understand the manner in which we die being fearful. I totally get that. But this is part of what we have to do to raise our energy up. And last night when I was channeling at the end, which took me by surprise, when I got Chester and Chris again, well, Chris and Chester actually, because Chester was right here showing me the book. And then I had the man that looked like a flamenco dancer, and people texting. We have interrupting texts. Interrupting news. Do you have any jelly beans? No, I don't. I ate them all, just to answer that. Hold on. So anyway, I said no jelly beans for that. Okay, so the guy that stood here that looked like a flamenco dancer, I couldn't see his face. It was not a sombrero on his head. It was like a big tank, and it was brown. The hat was brown. I said that. But I went right to the feet, and I thought, like, tap dancing. Scott Whelan, somebody said that. I looked at the hat picture. Whoever said that, thank you, because that's the hat I saw, but I couldn't quite see the face. I love Desi Arnaz, senior, not junior. I'm not into the juniors. I like the freaking seniors. That's right. You heard it here first. I like the seniors. No, I always loved Lucy's husband. I didn't like the kid. He didn't have as much charisma as the dad, at least for me when I was little. But anyway, this person standing here, the hat looks like Stone Temple Pilot, Scott Whelan. So it looked like his hat, but I didn't recognize the face. And the outfit was black, and the feet were pointed in a position. Like I just wanted to be like I'm a flamenco dancer like that. but it was his hat that holds the abused kids' names on the paper. So that's one person. I'm going to try to get it clear before I say anything, but somebody wrote me that, no, I wondered if it was Gregory Hines. I didn't say it was Gregory Hines. It didn't look as big enough to be Gregory Hines. It said it looked like flamenco. Somebody else said Gregory Hines. Not that I'm opposed to being, because I couldn't see the face, but the hat off the picture is who it looked like to me. No, Adam Levine is still alive. Sorry, he's still here. But it was the hat that caught me. The person sent me the picture with the hat, and that's how I saw it. So it was a hat that he had on stage. Might not be him. And the outfit was like a flamenco dancer, but not, okay? So it wasn't that. And then the feet were like tap shoes. So somebody danced is all I can tell you right here, but I don't get him right now. So I'm going to see what I get with that. Saturn return. Well, Saturn return. Okay, let's do Saturn return. Saturn return for you guys, even though we're not at that level astrologically. Saturn return is a very, I call it, and everybody calls it, okay, you reap as you shall sow. In other words, if you are a jackass up till your Saturn return, you'll basically be given a whole bunch of chances, a whole bunch to be an idiot. You push the envelope, you're going to pay for that one because you're not going on your path. And if you refuse to do what you're supposed to do and go on your path, you will be directed in a different direction. Now, that different direction can set you on a path for the rest of your life that is different than what you'd anticipated and get you around and back to your Saturn return. But Saturn return is basically when a lot of the illusion that you've had in your life and belief systems that you felt up until that point basically are removed. And if you refuse to remove them, Saturn is kind of a vicious planet. I know, don't yell at me, people that are Capricorns. I'm not saying you are, but Saturn can actually, Saturn doesn't play. So Saturn's like the army. If you don't get up at 5 and put your shoes and clean them under your bed or clean your gun or run around the block, whatever it is they do over there in the army, then they start like screaming at you and they can court-martial you and you can go to the brig or whatever the hell that is, right? Like they don't care. It's serious. You're going to do A, B, C, and D. Your Saturn return is like that. And depending on who you are, where it's placed, what sign it's in, okay, and your generational scope of it is the direction that you will go in. But it basically removes what is not needed if you are doing stupid shit. That's why a lot of people, if they are wasting their life away, drug addicts, I don't know, whatever, robbers, burglars, whatever people are doing that isn't in their best interest, they will actually basically reap what they sow. So don't ever think you can get away with things your whole life. Saturn in some people's chart, especially those with a lot of Capricorn, they can get away with nothing. Meaning person A, okay, who doesn't have as strong Saturnian energy can, do drugs for 5-6 years, walk away, poof, no problem. They can do stupid shit to their body, cut into themselves, heals up fine. They can go travel around drunk and high and never get robbed. Then you've got somebody with a lot of Saturn planets or a positioned Saturn in a karmic house. And you've got somebody, the first time they try to steal a chocolate bar, they're going to jail with the bomb squad behind them, okay? So they can't get away with it. But what you know when you know this, if somebody gets caught at everything they do and has that kind of a Saturnian energy, if that energy happens, then you know that karmically they have a responsibility because their soul already knows it. If your soul knows that what you're doing is screwing around with your life and wasting it, you're going to get slapped right back quicker than the person who's maybe just awakening to the fact that they have a purpose. And that can show up in your whole chart. Of course, I don't have time to read everybody's whole chart, so don't ask me that right now. But that actually can happen, okay? So there's certain people that have an elevated soul contract, and they have specific things that they have to get to in this life, as in no playing around, no screwing off in school. Then Saturn's going to come and it will slap you upside the head. But once you realize what's going on there, once you understand it, once you get it, it's like you don't make those mistakes, and your life can only get better because you've released the idea and the belief system and the expectation of what happened over here, and you've stopped fighting it. So the Saturn return would push you into the part of your life where you no longer fight what you see around you, or you no longer try to avoid what you see around you. I mean, I'm trying to avoid shit every morning, quite frankly, but I already know I can't do that. So kind of interesting. Now, somebody brought up Drew Barrymore. I just happened to see Drew Barrymore pop up. Her father, John Barrymore, from the Barrymore family. It was Ethel Barrymore, John Barrymore. Maybe she married, her father was the other Barrymore. Oh my God, I forget them. Don't yell at me. It's completely out of my, I did the Dorothy Dandridge video. That's up on my thing. Anyway, I believe Drew Barrymore's father was much older. Lionel Barrymore. No, that was the actor. Oh my God, I'm so confused. Anyway, Drew Barrymore's father was one of the Barrymores, but the mom was much younger. The dad had schizophrenia, ended up homeless. As I think of schizophrenia now, what I explained on one of my earlier videos from my experience from the work that I've done. Okay, so this is just my experience as a psychic and doing this for over 30 years. Schizophrenia is several different things in combination. Now, the psychiatric community would tell you that it is a psychiatric disorder in the brain, as in the brain is broken. That's what psychiatrists do. They go to school and they look at the fact that your brain is broken. They are not talk therapists. They're like, this chemical's out of whack, you're bipolar, you're mental, whatever, you have a brain injury. We can fix it by using these drugs. So they really literally believe in scientific practices of medicine to heal the mind, okay? Then you have your psychotherapists, which are talk therapists, which they believe through talking that you can help people. Probably not a schizophrenic though, but if a schizophrenic person needed to talk to somebody, that's kind of where they would go with it. What I have found is a lot of my clients, as I said, I have many clients early on in my career that were drug addicted, schizophrenic. I used to have one lovely little client who was a working girl on the streets, and she was young, younger than me at the time, and I was pretty young. So she was probably 19 or 20, and she would come by, she would grab some food, she would get a reading, and she came from Southern Baptist background. She was a black girl. She came from a Southern Baptist background. Very, very religious. Very, very, very religious, okay? But was a prostitute. So, you know, there was a conflict there, right? And probably was abused in childhood because, quite frankly, you're not going out in the streets being a prostitute if you're not coming from some sort of sexual abuse in your background. 9 out of 10 times. There is always exceptions to the rule. But from my experience and working with a lot of them and being around them and being on the streets early myself, I understand that that's kind of where we're going with that. However, what I found interesting from her and my other little clients were these girls and boys that had the schizophrenia, when they would break, when the schizophrenia would happen, I actually believe, because remember, they're coming to see a psychic, so they do believe in psychic stuff, but they're taught through the religion that it's not a thing to believe in. But I actually believe it's overly indoctrination of religion, as in intense religion, like, you know, like Satan's coming up the back steps and, you know, you better just, you stole a chocolate bar, you're going to end up in hell kind of thing. It's very, very extreme. I believe that there's also a component of abuse to the physical body. And then I believe there's also psychic experience, because abused children, as I said earlier in a video, are the ones that actually can disassociate from the physical body. They actually have to learn to disassociate. It happens naturally because they're being abused. So schizophrenia to me is a combination of all of that. So when you're reading the energy of a schizophrenic, I don't actually think, quote, it's a mental illness. I think it's an energetic, spiritual developing, and the body kind of shuts down because of that. That's what I think it is. That's been my experience. And I'm not a doctor, nor do I prescribe meds. So back in the day, I could have given you some meds. I'm kidding, I didn't have them. But that's what I think it is. So there's so many components that we say are medical or issues, when I believe that, oh, Bob Crane. Did somebody bring up Bob Crane? That just hit me. I'm like, wow, what are you, from the 50s? Bob Crane, yeah, he was a notorious, I don't know what to say about him. They had a TV show about the Nazis in the war. Like that's Hogan's Heroes, right? Colonel Klink. That's all I remember. And I don't even know why I watched that show. I think it was probably the only thing that was like running on TV. But there's so many components, again, getting back to a Saturn return, where if your body, mind, and soul are not all in alignment with each other, then there's an actual split in the personality and the description. This is what happens, okay? This is what happens to people. So that's where I'm going with that. But I thought I would do for fun, okay, because we're going to have fun. Oh, yeah, he was murdered. Well, it's no doubt he was murdered. He probably caused some kind of trouble, right? But I forgot he was murdered. I have to actually, I should look at Bob Crane. I know that he likes swinging sex parties and stuff. And if I remember correctly, it had something to do with that. Oh, Drew Barrymore. Her father was schizophrenic, and that was my point. I think Drew Barrymore was probably raised in some sort of cultish mindset. Her mother took her to the clubs when she was 9 or 10. Now, if I saw a kid in a club at 9 or 10, I'd be like, where's your mom? And if your mom let you in the club, I would yank the kid out of the club. Of course, it wouldn't really matter. But that's kind of a weird thing, right? Thank you for the super chats, you guys. It just goes up. I know someone tried to show me how to stop the button, and it was a great video. However, on my phone, I can't access that button. So it's like I'm blonde and stupid tonight and for the last week. But when you look at Drew Barrymore's life, I think her behavior is very programmed. And I think that she is a person who probably wasn't raised with somebody that kind of pimped her out. Her mother. I mean, I think her mother wanted the fame and had the kid as so the kid is the commodity. This happens a lot, though. This is not uncommon. This happens quite a lot. Happens a lot. But I thought I would go through, you guys are, I'm watching this and my eyes are going like this. Hi from London. Okay, Mussolini. Okay, who wants me to channel Mussolini? I'm like, why? Do we not know this? Okay, stop spamming. Is the spammer back again? Bloody spammer. RH negative blood. Well, they say RH negative blood is aliens. That's what they say. I don't know. We have it in our family, but it's missing something when you're pregnant. We have it on my kid's dad's side of the family. The RH negative factor. RH, I think my father-in-law had it, RH negative. And then somebody has the R part and the other part. Or maybe it was AB negative. But either way, it's problems when you're pregnant with that. I didn't have that issue. But yeah, they say it. Okay. Wait. Drew Peterson. Who was that? Isn't it Scott Peterson? Wait, Drew Peterson. The cop that had 2 wives or 3 wives that he murdered is definitely a sociopath. I remember that. If that's who you're talking about. If you're talking about Drew Peterson, I think he was a cop. And I think there was 1 wife and another wife. And I believe, actually, I do think he's a serial killer. That's what I believe. Yes, Betty Davis or Joan Crawford. I have no idea. Lane Stanley, one day. Yes. Thank you, Steve. Steve of 9. I saw that. Elvis. I never get Elvis. But I did a show with Richard Surrett, who is a host on Coast to Coast and has his own show. Oh my God, I want to say Strange Planet. Forgive me if I'm wrong on that. I've got to remember the name of people's shows. Anyway, he had a very good friend that he interviewed that did a book on Elvis and actually contended that Elvis was murdered from what he got. So we're probably told one story. You don't really know what goes on. You don't know because none of us know really. You have to kind of feel it. So that's what we're all doing. We're learning how to feel things. Brittany Murphy, definitely that was a setup. That was a very weird setup. Yeah, all of those things are true. John Travolta, I give up with him. Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm just not a fan. I don't care how he presents himself. I can't look at the texture of his skin. I don't care how nice he is. That's great that he's nice. I'm excited that he's a nice person. But I cannot look at the texture of his skin because there's something about it that I read that I don't like. So something behind and underneath. Doris Day. Okay, so we have a Doris Day story. She's April 3rd, her birthday's coming up actually, April 3rd. 19, however old she was. Go backwards. Okay, very interesting source. I'm going to go back and I'm going to tell a story because I can only tell a story. I had a friend, I've mentioned her a lot on here, but we're not friends anymore. But either way, I had a friend who was a journalist and had interviewed for one of her shows. And she's the one that told me about Bill Cosby 15 years before it happened. She didn't lie about that shit. Like, she told me that he flashed her. And as I said, I was like, oh, what? Like, you know me, I'm like, what? And I said, why is he flashing? Like, I was just so stupid. But she turned out to be right. And when it happened, I was like, mother bleeper, she wasn't lying. Because it sounds insane, right? It does sound insane. But she told me Doris Day has this nice, just this lovely singing voice. She had a rockin' body. She always wore stupid clothes. But if you look at Doris Day, she's kind of a hot looking chick. Like, good body, good in shape and everything. And I love Rock Hudson. I love Pillow Talk, all of those movies. All of them. It's even funnier now knowing Rock Hudson was gay. It's even more funny. But Rock Hudson, a beautiful man, Scorpio, beautiful. You know, very hidden, very, you know, whatever. Doris Day, Aries. And the two of them made a bunch of movies. And Doris Day made her own movies. This friend of mine was a reporter. And she was doing a show on the metaphysical. So they did all kinds of things from voodoo to, you know, every kind of real religion, cult religion, pseudo religion, you know, stuff. And they went to a guy, and I remember she said they walked in his house, and he was what was known as, I guess, a black magic dude. So he did spells and tinctures and whatever for people in Hollywood. They interviewed him. He was one episode of the show, okay? And so there was a huge piano. I remember she just told me about the piano. I didn't see it. She told me about the piano. On the piano were pictures of his clients. And guess whose little picture was there? Doris Day. That blew my mind. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? What are you saying to me? That's the only Doris Day story I know. I don't know if it's true, but the Bill Cosby story was true. That really was true. There were many stories she knew that actually were true, that were shockingly true. Yeah, so, you know, I don't know. But Doris Day, when I look at Doris Day's energy, in the later part of her life, I don't really get any, I've never channeled Brandon Lee, Dolly Parton, Woody Harrelson, Bob Marley. Bob Marley seems interesting to me. I told you George Clooney creeps me out, something with his energy. Jean Harlow is interesting to me. Because Jean Harlow, I know they said that she died from a kidney infection, which was interesting. I could see that. They said she had an inflamed kidney. She had that agent husband. I'm not going to mock him. But apparently they got into a fight. She got beat. Apparently, because he didn't have much. He married her sight unseen, you know, which is a note to everybody. See it first before you marry it. Before you buy it, see it. Just saying. But anyway, what I picked up with Jean Harlow, and I haven't fully channeled her. I will. Oh my God, what does this say? Something in England. See, it went in 5 seconds. Thank you very much for that, though. I don't know what you said. Come back around and I'll read it. Jean Harlow, when I picked up on her energy, I got very, very distinctly, that number one, her mouth was covered, and number two, she was absolutely taken off the planet and didn't just die the way that they said. That I got for sure. I haven't really looked into it farther. I just knew when I was reading something about her, I got that image and then I kind of pulled away from it. So it's not something I actually looked at. What I was going to say is we're going to do something super fun, and it's astrology. It's astrology. Okay, so we're just going to take one planet, Venus, and we're going to go through all 12 signs in your Venus because you want to know that. I loved Brad Pitt, but I don't love him anymore. That's all I'm going to say. Sorry, I don't. Can you remember your past lives? No. I mean, I do remember one past life. And when I saw my firstborn son, I knew that he was connected to it. I looked in those eyes and I went, oh, I am in for it. This is going to be a difficult thing. I did. I looked right in his little eyes. He was like 2 days old. Those little eyes. And I had him in one of those little rocking chairs. And I went, holy shit, that guy's back again. I phoned his dad. I'm like, why is he looking at me like this? I recognized him. I have one past life I remember, but it's weird because I flashed in and out of past life faces. So, and I was female in some, but in a lot of them, I was like it's no surprise, like a warrior man, like an Indian, like a warrior. I looked in the mirror one time and I flashed through like 11 lifetimes, predominantly male, where I looked male, or I looked like I was a guy in them. So I saw those, but I don't know what I did in them. I could only tell by the skin color and what I was. And a lot of times I looked different. Like I wasn't white. I was actually different skin colors and stuff. So that was interesting, but it's like I went through like a funhouse mirror and went backwards and just saw glimpse like 11 times, and then it stopped for me. And that doesn't happen often. That actually doesn't happen often. But I want to talk about our Venus. So Venus, because now we're going to go right into astrology because you guys love that. Venus is the planet of love, sex, whipped cream, all of those things. Venus in your chart, if you are a woman, is the expression of your womanliness, along with the moon and any other planets that are aspecting it. But for argument's sake, we're just going to say Venus. Venus is also in a man's chart the energy of the woman he will attract to him along with his moon sign. So the type of woman he will pull in the chart with the conjuncting planets, with the other things. Okay, so I can't go there. We're just going with strict Venus. If you have like Pluto on your Venus, your life is hell. If you have Jupiter on your Venus, you're basically, a little bit slutty. If you have Mars on your Venus, like I do, you will argue with your partners till you go blue in the face and want to pull the hair out of your head, or perhaps cut all your eyelashes off, one or the other. Venus conjunct Uranus. You can't make your mind up, Venus conjunct Uranus. You will want to go off. Yes, that's right. So Dorothy Stratton, I'm thinking of doing because she's a Vancouver girl, Canadian girl, and that was horrible. Okay, so we're going to start with Venus to begin with. So your Venus sign, I see a Venus in Taurus there. What's the sign for Taurus? This is our Taurus sign. But we're going to talk about Venus. We're going to start with Aries. So Venus in Aries, whether you are male or you are female, gives you a very traditional romantic nature. Now I'm not talking about any planets conjunct it. In a woman, it gives her all of those things that are traditionally what we would consider feminine in a relationship with an extra additive whoop ass behind it. So all of the things that Southern women do, okay, polite, subdued women, they're not really, do cook, clean, and all those things. An Aries woman will do that, but she will also run a corporation and run the man around ragged. In a man's chart, you're going to pull that kind of woman in. So you better watch out. So Venus in Aries is very interesting. Also, Venus in Aries is starting a new romantic cycle in their life moving forward. So they are basically choosing romantically to take a leap of faith. They are coming onto the planet and the relationship is karmically starting new. So they're wandering around their relationships a little bit tepid, okay? So they jump in wholeheartedly, but this is a new romantic experience for them, so it's kind of interesting. We'll get to Venus in Capricorn at the end after Aries, 9 more planets. So Venus in Aries, women are stronger. They'll light a cigarette, have a shot of whiskey, they'll have babies, they'll do the laundry, they'll do a Christmas cake, and they will go find their man when he's running off down the street with someone else and drag him by his hair back to the house. That's what they'll do. They're strong women. They're strong. And if you have Aries, Venus in your chart and you have that kind of woman, she is going to stand up to you. So, and now it depends. Yeah, Venus in the houses. We'll do that another night because I can't go through all the Venuses in the houses because it also depends on your sign. Quite yet. Venus in Taurus, okay, so Taurus the bull, Venus in Taurus it's in its ruling sign or its ruling planet, whatever. Taurus is ruled by Venus. I always say that backwards. So for Taurus and Venus, it's a very natural effect for the people that own it. So these are the kind of lovers that are, because we're talking love relationships and the kind of woman in a sexual sense that you're going to get. Venus in Taurus is a female that is going to smell good, dress good, even if she's not fit or she's fit. There's something very sexy about her. There's a kindness. She will want to feed you, take care of you, nurture you, mother you, all of those things. There's a stubbornness, but you're going to pay for it. So Venus in Taurus wants reciprocation, and they like reciprocation when it's coming in a material way. So that could be like, if you like shoes, so your man bring you shoes. If you like chocolates, your man bring you chocolates. If you are a man with Venus in Taurus, you're going to attract a woman that wants you to take care of her like that. She will take care of you, but she wants you to take care of her like that. Venus in Taurus is very sensual, very grounded. They like all things, the texture, the taste, the feel, everything like that. So it's a very tactile kind of sign. It's a good sign. It's not a bad one, actually, Venus in Taurus. It's a good one. I mean, it depends what planets are conjunct at, where it's placed, what your moon sign's in. I know all of that, but just in the basic, Venus in Taurus is very good. And Venus in Taurus is very concerned with the security of the relationship. So these are not, I mean, they may like you for sex, but if you're not offering marriage for them, they don't really like that. In the long run, I'm not saying the teenage ones. Forget those people because they're going to do whatever. So Venus in Taurus is kind of like that. Yes. So then we go to Venus in Gemini. Venus in Gemini is very Gemini-like. Venus in Gemini. So when you place Venus, the planet of love, in the sign of communication and kind of communal communication, you have a Venus sign that's very interested with communication and talking, and not necessarily sex, but does like sex, but has to talk through sex, needs to be told to shut up in the middle of sex. They are also the ones that like to go around the neighborhood and, you know, explore the different options they have. So it's really hard to like, okay, wait, I can't even read that. Something about Tom Hanks. I saw Tom and I went, But anyway, Venus in Gemini is very concerned with the actual intellectual verbal communication between their romantic partners and themselves. So Venus in Gemini could actually fall in love with somebody, just have sex with them. But if they didn't communicate the way the Venus in Gemini wanted it probably wouldn't go farther. And if you are a man with Venus in Gemini, you're going to pull to you a woman who needs to talk everything out before you're going to get sex. So if you clam up with this woman, or you don't want to talk about it, or whatever, it's not going to work. It's not going to happen. Because she will talk you to death until you want to blow your brains out, and then you can, you know, have sex with them. I'm just saying. But yeah, Venus in Gemini is also concerned with learning karmically through the relationship. So they like the interaction of the conversation and the learning through the relationship. So that's actually a good sign. I kind of like that one. Venus in Cancer, that's my Venus, and it's an annoying one. But Venus in Cancer looks, now I'm just saying, I mean, I know it from my clients too, and from astrology, but living it, having a Venus in Cancer, can be difficult because it makes you karmically responsible for family and sex for family, or sex through family. So you're having sex or relating with the goal to be family. Maybe not necessarily kids, but there's a caretaking of. Now, depending on if you're the woman with it, you will appear, okay, Venus in Cancer. What is Cancer? Cancer is ruled by the moon. Cancer takes care of. It is the mom sign. It can be very, very push-pull with relationships, because Venus in Cancer is water, and if they don't get the love they want or feel rejected, they can push you away and they'll shut down like nobody's business. But it's also the interaction of love between, this will sound weird, but I don't mean it the way it's going to sound. Venus in Cancer, or really a lot of planets in Cancer, are the relationship between the parent and child reenacted through the relationships. You can have two people that are age 30, married, and the one with the Venus in Cancer is looking to the relationship to reenact the parent-child relationship that they grew up with. A lot of us do that anyway, regardless of our signs, but that is really Venus in Cancer. So that is something they do. They will take care of, they will cook for, they will wash, they will clean, they will do all of that, and then they will pull away emotionally. They will shut down on an emotional level. So Venus in Cancer is an interesting one. If a man has Venus in Cancer in his chart, he is looking for somebody to mommy him. I don't mean they could be the same age. It doesn't matter. It's not that. But that's Paul Walker. No, I can't talk about Paul Walker. I'm just not going to talk about that right now. Some people I can't talk about. But getting back to astrology, so Venus in Cancer is very much that. And keep in mind, Venus in Cancer, the most orphaned, abandoned, or adopted sign in the zodiac, love sign under Venus means that in their relationships, they feel abandoned on some level. Now, whether that's true or not is a whole other thing, but that's the feeling underneath. But still not a bad Venus sign, because like if you're nice to them and you feed them and you love them, they'll come back and feed and love you. It's kind of like that. So then we go to Venus in Leo. Venus in Leo is what? Flashy. Venus in Leo is flashy. Venus in Leo is looking to create. Venus in Leo is looking to create through the love relationship. So they get a lot of their, they take a lot of their romantic energy and use it in their creative life. They're very dramatic. They're the pretty ones. They're pretty, Venus and Leo. If you attract a woman with Venus and Leo in her chart is going to be like a guy. She's going to be on the hunt, and that's probably not the way our society does it, but anything with Leo is on the hunt. If it's in a female's chart, if it's in a male chart, it wants it brought to them. So the man with Venus and Leo wants the woman to admire him. The woman with Venus and Leo is looking to hunt and find her man. She's the hunter-gatherer. She's going to find her man. She's going to drag him by the hair home, and she's going to dominate him. That's Venus and Leo. So Venus and Leo is going to be like that. The man with Venus and Leo, he wants a very, very pretty, flamboyant, Leo-like person, but she caters to him. So she is a showpiece on some level, but it goes deeper than that too. So it goes to the expression of creativity through the love relationship. So there is some interaction in the romantic relationship with Venus and Leo that will cause the person to expand their creative energy. So it's going to expand it in a little bit of a different way. Then we go to Venus in Virgo, the most fun of all signs. And I'm being facetious when I say that. Okay, Venus in Virgo. Oh my God. Okay, so Venus in Virgo, what I've noticed from them and what I know astrologically, number one, love is hard for them. So the person basically has to be brought into the relationship by whatever's going on. Meaning the Venus in Virgo person might meet their lover at work, meet their lover in the hospital, meet their lover wherever. But Venus in Virgo is all about finding out through being emotionally open as a mirror to the partner, almost like a doormat. And I don't quite know what to say with that, but Venus in Virgo allows himself to be treaded on in order to develop a different way of response within a romantic relationship. And it's up in the head. But as I said, Virgo's the kink sign here. We got our Capricorns and our Virgos. These are your two kinkos in the zodiac. I know you think it would be Scorpio, but Scorpio can be, can take off. But Virgos can be, Venus in Virgo can make very good lovers, and they can, because they're strange. They're kinky, but they're not like weird kinky, but they do like to do things, so you can play with them when you open them up. Otherwise, what does Virgo do? It sits here with its shirt up to here and its little bow on like this, and it's like, but I'm a good girl. And you get the good girl home and the good girl turns nasty. That's how Venus in Virgo is. So a man with Venus in Virgo, they have to watch it a little bit. The male I've noticed is, it can be. The male I noticed with Venus in Virgo, they have to watch not being taken advantage of or led by their female partner, because the female Virgo has a very specific idea about how things are going to be romantically. So she tends to pick somebody that is not at her level. And I don't mean that in a mean way, just somebody that, like if she is well-heeled, social, whatever, she may pick somebody who is like a construction worker, not much etiquette. Not that that's wrong. Those guys are great. Not saying that, but it doesn't look like it matches. So the Venus in Virgo will pick that. And then there's a struggle there, struggle to make it perfect, to fix it, to date it and make it better. They pick a project. That's a good word. Okay, so from Virgo, we go to Venus in Libra. Now, Libra is the second sign ruled by the planet of Venus. So it's the higher octave of Venus. So Venus in Libra is interesting because it's all of those things. It's very beautiful. It's very gracious. It's out there, but it learns through relationships. So Venus in Libra likes to have a lot of different relationships throughout their life. They learn through the interaction of partnerships. They're very invested. So these are your female friends that are always talking about, like, let's say they just ended a marriage and they're like, but I've got to find another man. And you're like, but you just got out of a marriage. And they're like, I've got to find another man. I've got to do this. I've got to do that. And so the Venus in Libra is like learning through the interaction and finding the balance. So they tend to pick, I've always said Libra has a little bit of an undercurrent of anger that goes underneath. So the Venus in Libra can pick people that have a violent streak in order to balance that out. Now, if you are a man and your Venus is in Libra, you tend to pick a woman who's going to come out and go like batshit crazy on you sometimes, because it's about balancing that energy. What do I teach you about balance? In order to learn balance, one must be unbalanced in order to know what balance is, because if you've never been unbalanced, you don't know what it is. So the Venus in Libra tends to do that. They pick these things, like they may pick a man who's married. Obviously, he's not going to leave his family. It's going to cost him too much money, blah, blah, blah. And he's going to pick that. And then she's going to pick that guy and she's going to try to balance it to fit with her. There's that kind of thing. So then we go to Venus in Scorpio. So Venus in Scorpio, I have an itchy back here, you guys. Venus in Scorpio is interesting because remember, Scorpio's working with the undercurrent of energy, not the overt energy. So it's going underneath everything. And Venus in Scorpio they like sex. They like sex and control. They like domination, sex, and control. And they like to do things in secret. So they always, always, always have a hidden sex life. God knows what it is, but they always have it. So the Venus in Scorpio, but they're actually looking to elevate their energy from what is unseen to what is above through the sex act. So they will put themselves into somewhat degrading Stella. Oh God, I see that name and I've got to do it. I'm sorry. I'm having Tourette's again. Okay, so sorry, Scorpios. Venus and Scorpio will put themselves into degrading situations in order to try to gain control and power over that situation. So they will often do things. I've had many Venus and Scorpio clients. The women, they'll come in and they are like, well, yeah, I just let him hit me. And I'm like, what? Or I let him choke me, or I let him, whatever, insert name of strange behavior. And they will put themselves in those situations because they are trying to elevate the energy. So it has something to do, you hope you don't have Venus in Scorpio. It's not a bad one, actually. It's transformative of the energy, but they go through several different levels in order to transform it. That is spot on. See, there's some Scorpio Venuses out there going, yeah, I like to wear the stockings is what they're saying. I like someone stepping on my back with the heels. Okay. Scorpio men, Venus and Scorpio men tend to be the ones that have the issues with power and control when it comes to love relationships. So they will pick somebody who will not give them power and control, and it becomes a battle in its worst sense. And then with the Scorpio energy, like I said, they can go on a break for years where they won't even touch anybody. So they can go just absolutely like a nun or a priest, or not a priest because, they're already always having sex. Sorry, bad priest joke. They can go in any different way where it's like they're a camel and they're just going to use that energy to connect to the highest energy, which means totally go around the human and then try to raise the energy right up. So they can do that too. Just depends. Then you have Venus in Sag. That is one of my favorite, Venus in Sag, because Venus in Sag loves to go out and exercise and move around, have these deep conversations and go to weird places and date strange women. And they're always on the move. They're kind of, Venus in Sag is interesting for both male and female because they will often fall into relationships without even understanding what they're doing. In other words, Venus in Sag likes to collect a lot of friends. They collect their friends, and then somebody thinks they're a boyfriend and they're like, how did I get in this relationship? That's like a Venus in Sag thing. If you're a Venus in Sag woman, you probably are looking for a man that can keep up with your hyperness. And so it's very important what goes on in your circumstance relationship. A couch potato will not work for you because you're on the move. Whether you like to be a workaholic or ride bikes or exercise or knit all the time, start projects, paint the house repeatedly, do the garden, Venus and Sag is on the move. So you want a partner like that. Now, if you are a man with Venus and Sag, this is a bachelor sign. Both female and male can be bachelors, like not marriage material, meaning they don't want to get married. They want to be single. But if you are a man with Venus and Sag, you're going to have to corral your woman because your woman is going to be running off like a whatever. Okay, so your woman's going to be going off like crazy. So you're going to have to corral your woman. Okay, Venus is not in Libra. Venus is in Libra. Your Venus is not in Libra. Okay, so Venus in Sag, you have to, Amityville Horror. That isn't about Venus. No hope in love with Venus and Virgo. No, Venus and Virgo gets married all the time. It's just a way to do it. But Venus in Sag, the men have to really corral their women. So it can be a difficult thing. Okay, so from Sag, we go to Venus in Capricorn. Now, Venus in Capricorn is interesting. Venus in Capricorn gets the hang of it a little bit later. It's a little bit militant of a Venus sign. So anything in Capricorn can be a little bit like militant, as in they are very, this way, and I'm going to try to keep it this way, and I got to do my stuff this way, and I don't want to deviate from this. So they make good little generals within a circumstance. Venus in Capricorn is very specific, and they do expect specific things. They're another one of the kink signs. What I mean by that is I call them the cross-dressers. Venus in Capricorn. Don't yell at me, people. But they are the sign that has these like hidden things romantically, and they can be quite lustful. It's not a bad Venus sign. It's a very workable. So they look at relationships as in how tangible it is, workable for both sides and for themselves, and they put their plans into action. So Venus in Capricorn has this goal, like I have a goal and I want to do this within my relationship. I want to have 4 kids by the time I'm 30. Whoever wants that goal maybe should rethink that a bit, but let's say that's their goal. So they have this goal and they want the 4 kids, and then they want their husband, and they want him to make a certain amount of money. This is how that happens. A man with Venus in Capricorn is interesting because he could very well attract himself to a full-on businesswoman. That's what I would say. She's very strong and a businesswoman for real. Very much a businesswoman. So the Capricorn has that element. Okay, I'm a Cap married to an Aquarius, but that's not your Venus. I'm only doing Venus right now, you guys. And then we have Venus in Capricorn. Then there's Venus in Aquarius. Venus in Aquarius, also a good Venus sign. Little bit like Venus in Gemini in that it has the element of being friends with everybody. So sometimes they end up in relationships with people that are their friends and are like, wait, how did you get here? So Venus in Aquarius loves to collect friends and gives love through the art of their friends. So they have usually a huge friend circle, and they love talking to their friends and being with their friends. And romantically, Venus in Aquarius is about looking at the love relationship, not from the standpoint of do you love me, do I love you, but more in a different octave, and it's more of a detached octave. So it comes about in the sense that there is detachment from it, and then there is information around that. So they're learning through their kind of their inability to be consumed by the other person. That's not to say they can't be that, but so I don't know. I thought I saw a tranny over there. I'm like, is someone doing that again? Do we have a heckler out there? So Venus in Aquarius can be very well, they like to help their relationship lovers like friends. So their relationship people need to be their friends, and they will assist them in that way. So they will assist them as friends. The men with Venus in Aquarius will often get into relationships with women that they have no idea why they are in a relationship with them, because they're like, you are my friend, but I don't actually want to marry you, so you need to get out of my house. And then they don't want to hurt their friends' feelings, so they end up marrying the person. It's kind of that. So Venus in Aquarius is like a funny, it's like a funny kind of a dance between the two of them. So from Venus in Aquarius, we go to Venus in Pisces. Now, Venus in Pisces is a lot like Venus in Virgo, but even more so. Venus in Pisces sees absolutely the sorrow in the love relationship and the sadness within the interaction. They will often pull to them a very karmic and sad love story. So it's a very beautiful love story, but it's a very sad love story, because on a karmic level, it's coming from behind the scenes. So it's not obvious at first. This could be, for example, the woman that marries a man and has a couple of kids with him, madly in love with him, and suddenly he dies of cancer and she's like 34, and then he's gone. And Venus in Pisces has got to watch not being abused, because Pisces is of service in a spiritual reflection. So we're on Earth, right? So Pisces women will often pick men that have these issues, with which the Pisces women, Venus Pisces woman, will stand there and say, go ahead, abuse me, because I'm going to love you spiritually enough to help you elevate so that we can get past this, so that I can love you again. And that doesn't work on this planet, but that's Venus in Pisces. The men with Venus in Pisces also have to watch their heart, because they can get walked over like crazy. They can also pick women that are notoriously addicts or liars or some kind of crazy, and the man will basically make up a nice story to put that in a neat package so that he doesn't have to deal with the reality, because he needs to love the woman. So Venus in Pisces is a difficult one. Anything in Pisces is difficult. Loaded 12th house, anything. It's a difficult placement. Okay, Lego is short for Lego, Danish for play well. Oh God, okay. I've got to read that again. Lego is short for Lego Godot, Danish for play well. Okay, Lego, but why are they playing Lego? Why are they doing that? I'm talking about Ellen again. All these people have Lego and they're like, look, I'm doing Lego. I'm like, why the fuck are you people doing Lego? I want to know what that is. Oh, somebody from Toronto. Okay, so Venus and Pisces. So we got over the Venus signs. Okay, so that is a good thing. I think it's a good thing. It might be a good thing. So that's just Venus, and it's really just very brief. I'm trying to teach you some brief stuff, like, because we got to do other stuff other than bitch about what's going on, because there's so many other crazy things that are going on in the world. So we want to do that. A game show. I don't know. Burt Reynolds. I used to love Burt Reynolds. Venus in Cancer. I know I have Venus in Cancer too. I'm guilty of Venus in Cancer. Whatever. Basically, Venus in Cancer will marry somebody who is like their child. How about that? Venus conjunct Pluto. Well, that's like the murder aspect. So good luck with that. I should step that back a bit. Venus conjunct Pluto can be very much very power and control, and also very, very hidden about what kind of relationships they're in. So this could be the woman that's like a dominatrix that pretends to be, is a dominatrix at night and a school teacher for fourth graders in the daytime. Like, you don't, this woman sexually is completely disconnected in a totally hidden way from how they present themselves. Again, it depends on the sign that Venus is in and what sign, the conjunction is. Is it a same sign conjunction, out of sign conjunction? Are there any other planets involved in this? However, that's pretty intense, and it can also draw very, very intense people to you. Okay, so that's Venus. Now, what are we, okay, I'm going to read some. I love to come up close because I can't. Can you talk more? Well, Venus, okay, wait, Venus conjunct Uranus. Okay, Sloan, does Venus and Scorpio die single? No, Venus and Scorpio. I'm like, no. Okay, if you're single and you want love, but you can't find love, and I'm going to talk energetically, not necessarily, I'm not necessarily going to talk Venus, actual Venus, but you're right. There's many clients and many male and female clients I have, and they can't find love. And that's actually, that's sad for them. But let me word it this way. In order to actually find a partner, not a fuck buddy, but a partner, okay? Because there's fuck buddies, you can find those. They're all over. I don't know that they'll come out now, though, because of this virus thing. Maybe they don't want to come near you because they're like, yeah, you know, normally I would be having sex with strangers in bars and cars and here and there, but there's a virus now, so I'm not going to do that shit, right? I'm just thinking, I'm picking up hookers. I had this conversation tonight with somebody, a man. I'm like, are you picking up hookers? No, there's the virus. I'm like, well, that's good because we don't want anybody picking up hookers in the middle of the virus because we don't know, right? But if anybody's having trouble actually energetically connecting in a relationship, finding a love partner, it is an interesting society we live in. And I got to fix my hair. Anyway, it's an interesting society we live in because energetically we've been taught to disconnect. And part of what this virus is going around is disconnecting our chakras. I've said that. When they are asking us to keep our, I hate the word social distance. It's such a doofus word. It's a doofus word. Who invented that word? Oh, can you keep your social distance? Can you shut the fuck up? Get away from me with your stupid ass word. Anyway, social distance is exactly what I'm talking about. We've been taught through social media and all of those things, there's disconnect. What is happening is part of the soul's energy on earth right now is being pulled this way, so that we stay stuck, so that we can't really elevate. And I'm talking relationship wise as well. So you have to connect in person. You have to really, really connect with the person. You have to touch them. You have to physically be intimate with them and not a whole bunch of people, right? But what is going on is with the social distancing and all of these things, we are not connecting heart chakras. Even getting close to someone, getting in their energy space, this is how you know if you like them. Standing close, there's a spark. But it's not from 6 feet away or pretend 6 feet away. It's not from that. It's close. It's textured. It's something when you walk by somebody and you're close or you get near them and you can feel it. It's that. That is what is missing. That is what we need to bring back. So it is the heart chakra and the different chakras that all mesh with the energy field in a relationship. If we are disconnected, they're actually breaking the bonds of us being able to connect and to raise elevate our energy into the next thing that we're going to be doing as human beings. The development of our souls is being blocked by not being able to connect. And I don't just blame these idiots that invented the word social distancing. What the hell does that even mean? Excuse me, I'm a tattletale. You're too close. You're not social distancing. What is that? Oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm just having a breakdown. What is that? But okay, it's Instagram, it's Facebook, it's everything that we're doing online that is actually disconnecting us chakra-wise, meridian-wise, from being able to connect with somebody. So, and it started with TV because TV is the culprit for a lot of things. TV is what we sit and we put our attention into a box, into a tube, into a Instagram, into a camera, into whatever it is, but we aren't connecting on a heart level. So I still think if you can kind of like go under the do not cross tape, I think you should hug people, maybe not strangers, but people in your family. Why would you not hug them? Because it's disconnecting you. If you're sick, obviously, if you're sick, boob tube, right? Exactly. But if you're sick, don't go hugging people. But if for like a week you haven't been sick, then I guess every time you go outside, wherever, the supermarket, you could get sick, potentially. So in the act of hugging, our chakras connect, our meridians connect, our energy connects. And as I said last night, when we connect, we are able to strengthen our energy fields. You won't get sick through the connection. Babies in orphanages, okay? Babies in orphanages all over the world. I think it was Russia actually too. They gave away all those babies. The babies' brains did not develop when they didn't have human touch. So when they were left in orphanages in their little cribs as their baby selves, they basically changed the structure of their DNA, and their hearts didn't open, and they were basically, what do they call that when you can't love? Attachment disorder or some form of it. Because of that, that's what they're trying to do to us now. They're actually energetically, this is part of the agenda. I really do believe it. Yes, I believe there's a virus. I'm going to preface it by saying that again. But they started to actually literally disconnect us from our energy. So we need to connect. Hugging, what I was saying last night when we pray, remember we're doing this, we are doing this. Well, some of you are doing this. I'm doing this, I did this. But all of us are praying for 4 people. You can look at people on this feed or your Instagram feed or any feed. 4 people that you don't know, that are not in your family, that are not your circle of friends. And I want you to lock arms in your head with those 4 people and everybody in your circle of people you pray for. And I want you to say a prayer for their good health, their happiness, their joy, their passions, their love. I want you all to say it. And I want us to pick up 4 different people a night, because they showed me last night, the more we lock arms, we raise the energy up like this in prayer, okay? Not just go hold someone hostage and lock arms. I'm talking in prayer. We are able to raise the energy. It's about raising the energy. So when you ask about having a relationship, it's about raising your own energy to attract what is correct for you, because I bet you whoever asked me that question, you're in a relationship where you're trying to get attention or begging the person to pay attention to you, and there's some kind of childhood family belief system patterning going on, and you have to let go of that first. It won't work if you don't do that. You have to actually let go of that. Occult, you explained sleep paralysis. Occult. I'm like, oh, I have sleep paralysis right now. If you attempt, I can't even read any of this. Venus in Pisces, women left my partner of 14 years. He's an addict. There you go. Venus in Pisces loves their addict, but it's part of them. So it's in the element of prayer, and especially now, because I personally as a psychic can feel this, that they're trying to take our energy fields away from us so that we don't have strength. If we believe we're alone, then we basically disconnect from the God energy, because if we believe we are alone, then we are not with God, because hell is the exclusion of God in your life. That's actually what hell is, from my understanding. It's the exclusion or the distance from God. So what is happening right now? We can't even connect on a heart level with somebody we love, which then raises our elevation to unconditional, which then connects it to the God source. We're not doing that right now. So if you can't do that, then you begin to believe you're alone. And if you're alone, then you're in charge of everything. And then you may just end up becoming really, really upset and depressed. So it's about that harmony. It's about that raising. That's what we need to do. We need to actually do that. That's part of what they're doing to us. I can feel that. That's an agenda. I call that a spiritual wall. Call it whatever you want. That is an actual agenda. So every time I turn the news on or I see stuff where they're talking about nonsense, and sometimes the newscasters are so full of shit. What are they saying? Oh my God, panic, rip the hair out of your head. I mean, stop doing that. Even if it was severely panic-stricken thing, if we're gonna die, we're gonna die. What are you telling me for? I know I'll wash my hands. I won't go out and be in groups of more than 3 or my family or whatever, or 3 strangers or anything like that. But don't put that fear shit on me. That's bullshit. A lot of the energy that's going on right now too, and you're gonna notice this in the next 2 years, the energy that's going on around with the virus and everything that's going on, you're going to see people raise their energy, and you're going to see people stuck in shame. And there's going to be 2 distinctly different groups of people. And this is a spiritual war. This is what I believe. So I believe that that's part of it. So we have to raise our energy. So we're all going to pick 4 more people, which means now we have 8 people. We're going to keep doing that. I mean, you can't technically say you pray for anybody and all on the planet. You can do that. But I say 4 different people by name to say their names. So the 4 that you picked last night, they can go in your group of people that you pray for, like all my friends and family, because now they're your friends energetically. But the new people that you meet, let's say Sally, John, Fred, and Carolyn, whatever. These 4 people, you will say them by name tonight so that they become energetically part of your friend circle. Then you don't have to say their name again, but that's 4 more that you put over here that will feel you. And when they feel you from that perspective, they will be able to raise their vibration so we don't stay stuck. That's so important. So important. I can't even explain it right now. Panic and fear. I mean, technically, the second you're born, aren't you afraid? Like, there's a lot of scary shit. Little kids must be afraid to go outside. There's a car, there's barking dogs, there's weirdo neighbors, there's people that scream and yell, there's police sirens. I mean, isn't that terrifying in and of itself? So the only thing that combats fear is prayer, really. You got to raise it up. Everybody's afraid, but we're all going to die. So I cannot live in the fear of it. I have to go out if I have to get groceries. That's what I have to do. And I'm going to say this again to people who are going to hate me for saying it. But if you're going to wear your mask outside, please, people, wear glasses too. Because if they cough in your eye, it's going in through your eye. Just saying. I mean, if you want to say that, that's everybody's like, I have my mask on. I'm like, well, that does you no good if they sneeze in your eye socket. Duh. But I don't hear that on the news, but still, duh. So I think instead of walking around afraid, the way to strengthen the body's immune system is to avoid depression and avoid fear. Fear lowers it, and fear brings in depression. Now, if you wash your hands, relatively stay away from people. At the gas station, you're going to be touching the pump, so wash your hand. If you have to go into someone's house, you have to do it. I mean, all of those people driving those Amazon trucks and those, sorry, my eye here, the Amazon trucks and the delivery services, do you not think they're touching people's money, people's door handles, people's railings, and then are dropping your food off? You really think you're that safe if you stay in? You may be a little bit more safe, but you don't even know what's coming on your packages. Like if you go in a restaurant to pick up food, if the guy in front of you had corona and touched somewhere on the counter that they didn't wipe in the 2 seconds that the guy sneezed on the counter when they were in the back room, and you touch it, good, guess what? It's all on your face. So just stop with the paranoia because you can't control all of that. So just raise your vibration. And I say things like, I am healthy now. I am healthy now. I am abundantly healthy and happy and joyous now. That's what I am. I am abundantly happy, joyous, and healthy now. I drink oregano oil, as I've said. I put 4 drops in my hot water. I have vitamin C, or I eat fruit, and in my head, I don't think I'm going to get sick. So if I get sick, you'll know I was full of shit, right? But anyway, at this point, I just don't envision myself getting sick, so I'm not going to entertain it. Because remember, when you entertain a thought, what you're telling the universe is that you want that thought. Doesn't matter. The universe isn't going, well, coronavirus is bad. The universe is saying, okay, coronavirus. That's all they're saying. It could be say, okay, fur coat. Okay, puppy dog, whatever. It thinks you want it. So you actually can't think that way. So in your fear, vitamin C, vitamin D, exactly. Oranges. Yeah, vitamin C, strawberries, bananas, eggs, green tea. Yeah, exactly. Oregano oil is really good. It kills a lot of things. Have a cup of oregano oil a day. Don't drink all the oil. 4 drops or 2 drops in your hot water because it's god-awful shit-ass tasting. But if you do that and drink it, and they say tea kills it, so drink some tea. Do that. That's what I think we should do. And I know the more that we pray, the spiritual element of what's going on, you can feel the earth shifting and you can actually see through things. I am able to see things now that I don't want to see between people. I don't like that silver stuff. I know everybody asks me about that colloidal silver. I don't like it because I read a story once of a man that turned like a blueberry. I can't put anything in my body that's going to make me think I'm going to turn blue, even though I like blue, because I'll go insane and crazy. OCD, it'll make me nuts. But we can do that. Also, if you have a friend who needs you to get them groceries, Go and help them. Are you going to hide in your house because you're afraid of a virus that you may or may not have? Why don't you go and help your friend? If your grandkid needs a hug, give your grandkid a hug. If your grandfather needs a hug, give him a hug. Wash your hands. Put your face in the back of his neck so it doesn't breathe on him. Give him a hug. Don't be silly. Like, just don't be stupid. Love these people because they're getting us not to touch so that we're all becoming reliant on our screens. No screens, people. No, we're all becoming reliant on our screens, and it's wrong. It's actually wrong. Raw garlic's great. It's just wrong. You need to touch. You need to be able to speak through the body's energy field, and that isn't communication this way. I'm talking physical energy fields. When love is expressed between anybody, and I'm not talking sex necessarily, just when you love your friend and you hug them, when you love someone who's been kind to you, your grandparents, your grandkids, your children, your mother, your father, whatever it is, and you love them, it automatically raises your immune system because love is unconditional and it connects up. So you open it up. So all the fear and selfishness, I'm going to stay in. I'm not going to do this. Okay, if you're sick, please stay in. That is common sense, people. Who the hell told you to go out with your sneezy, sniffly self? Okay, so the story tonight was I was in a store and this kid sneezed like twice. So I turned around and I had the urge. Seinfeld episode. Okay, so I'm going to bore the shit out of you. So Jerry Seinfeld is in a store and with George, because you know George is a colossal idiot. Anyway, they're in a store and George is trying to take back an art book, but it's been flagged because he took it into the bathroom. He went into the store and used the bathroom and took the magazine in with and the book in with him. Anyway, then Jerry Seinfeld, the character Jerry, runs into his uncle, okay? His uncle's like shoplifting for fun. He just does it for fun. He's like, oh, it's no big deal. So Jerry goes up to the manager and says, I want to stop my uncle from being a klepto. And it is the funniest thing because he just wants to scare his uncle. And the manager yells at all these people, whatever, these, I don't know what you want to call them, like these, I have no idea what to say, but these probably minimum wage working people in this bookstore. The manager gets on the walkie-talkie like it's an FBI takedown. He's like, swarm, swarm. I wanted to say this to the girl that was sneezing. Swarm, swarm. Like I wanted them to attack her and drag her out. It was just a joke that went through my head. I'm sorry, it was really funny. Because she was sneezing all in the store. And I'm thinking to myself, what the hell are you out here? But you know what? There's nothing I can do at that point. So I just assume I'm not going to get it. And please remember, whoever gets whatever it is you get with the flu, tuberculosis, AIDS, hepatitis, herpes, chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis, I don't know, whatever else runs around, scabies, whatever else runs around the planet, it doesn't mean you're going to get it, and it certainly doesn't mean you're going to die. So why do you go to, there's a virus, you're going to die? Why is it you're going to die? Why do you think that way? Why would it just be you're going to, I don't understand. I don't know why we go there. Oh, I cut my finger and now I'm going to die. Okay. Because it says, they're saying that a lot of people will recover and they will be fine. So why don't you just put it in your heart that you will recover? And until you get sick, why are you living like you're sick? Other than washing your hands, not touching door handles, that kind of thing. I've stopped licking door handles. I've stopped saying cheeky things. But, I mean, if you can go and walk on the street, you can go out and do something. So go do it. Just don't do things like get around rooms full of 30 people. Just go do it. But remember, every time you go to Starbucks, drive-through, restaurant, gas station, 7-Eleven, Walmart apparently is open. I'm not going in there. I just can't bear it. Walmart, Target, wherever stores are open. Basically, you're probably going to get it more there than anywhere else because you're around the people. So pay attention when you're out and wash your freaking hands. That's it. That's it. Okay. I can't even read it. George Harrison, I thought I saw George Harrison. I live in Korea and there's no lockdown. God, are we jealous of you? You don't have it in Korea? Somebody in Korea says there's no lockdown there. Yeah, it's energetic, and there's some other kind of warfare going on. And I think if we're still told we can't go out after April 30th, I'm actually thinking that's a huge problem, because everybody that should have an outbreak, that gives us 30 more days. So if it outbreaks within 14, you should have it and you should know it, and you should quarantine your ass. But I should not be in here if I don't have it, nor should you in your house. So if it goes more than 30 days, then you know there's another agenda, period. And people got to stand and fight for that. They got to step the hell out of their door before this becomes communist Russia or some damn communist country, communist China, North Korea, because that's what they're doing. Over 30 days, there's no need for that. I'm not buying it. I'm really not. And I think I took the statistics today because I'm OCD that way. Let me look here. I did too. Okay, so America, I don't know about the rest of the world. Don't ask me to do the whole world because I can't do it. I can barely keep practice of what's here, but apparently America has 331 million people 002/651 people. So 331 million people in the country of America, or whatever. This is our population as of right there. Oh, what the hell? Just showed you all my pictures. That's not funny. Hold on, where did that go? That's hilarious. Can you see it? Okay, do you see what is happening in New York? Yeah, I see what's happening in New York. They're all going to Florida with their virus. So now that's going to be in Florida. They're not quarantining themselves, knowing that they're sick. But yeah, there's people going, of course, there's people going to die from it. It's a virus. Do you know how many people die from TB a year? So there's that many people, but I wanted to know how many people, as of this morning, according to the CDC, so there's 122,653 cases. That means people that they say have identified as sick. I don't know how they know that when they don't have tests, but let's just assume they do. That's identified. That doesn't mean they're dead. That just means that they've been identified. It could be mild cases, could be whatever. Total deaths thus far is 2,112. That's up as of today, and that's according to the CDC. We have 331 blah, blah, blah million people in the country. So that's not very much. Now, in the world right now, I had to look this up as well. There are 10.4 million TB cases, and not in America. That is the whole world, though. So that's not really a fair comparison. And 1.7 million TB related deaths every year. TB is still there. Go down to Los Angeles on the streets and the homeless. Work with them. All the workers get TB. They get TB. They help the homeless. They get TB. That's common knowledge. So when you're looking at something like that, you can walk around downtown and walk by them to go in an office building and catch TB. But I don't see people quarantining themselves, especially the ones with the TB, because they're the ones spreading it, right? But they don't have a home. So I don't know what to say about that. But I mean, I don't know how you correct that. I don't feel that everybody who gets it is going to die from it. So I'm just not a panic-stricken person. I do see what's happening. Let's look up what cases are in New York. Does anybody know what the cases are in New York? I do not actually know. What is this called? I'm like, what is this called? Let's see how many people have it in New York. But they're now all in North Carolina and Florida. So those places are going to go crazy. Because the people traveled, and it's the people with money because they flew out of town immediately. Okay, let's see. New York update. I want to see. Okay, Louisiana has an alarming rate in the, I just showed up here. Center for Disease Control. We're looking for New York. Anybody know New York? But the entire United States, only 2,100 people have died. That's not good, but how many people are dying from car accidents every day? I'm just asking. I'm just asking you to think logically. I'm not saying it's not dangerous. I'm not saying it can't spread all over the world. I'm not saying it can't be bad. 60,000. 60,000 in New York? Wait, 59,000. Is that New York? That just, hold on, back it up if that's New York. Why can I not find New York? I'm trying to find New York. Oh, here, New York. let's see. Okay, so the death toll, let's see when this was done. This is March 28th. Okay, so, okay, we're on the 28th, right? Okay, so Cuomo says New York State stands at 728, up from 519 the previous day and 385 cases on Thursday. So we're talking, is he correct? That doesn't, wait. New York is the U.S. epicenter of the virus outbreak and has far more confirmed cases than any other state in the nation. Okay, more than, okay, now there's the key. More than 52,000 confirmed. So whoever said something in 52,000 confirmed. I thought you were talking dead. I'm like, well, then that's serious, but that isn't. Over 177,000 people tested. So double that in the testing. And then they're talking, I'm not seeing deaths here. Does anybody know how many people have passed? But you also have to understand, okay, so those are those cases, but you also have to understand the people that died. What were their pre-existing health conditions? How old were they? The backdrop, Jimmy's right there. He's right there, right there. Wait, you wish you were, okay, whatever, 59 deaths. Shit, I just missed the deaths. Okay, and 965 dead. Okay, so out of whatever I just said, out of the whole country, when you ask about New York, so you said there's 900 dead, whoever just said that. When you ask about the whole country of America, there's 2,112 deaths. Half of them, 900 and whatever you said, are out of New York. Okay, so now none of us are going to New York. And if we live in New York, then we probably shouldn't go out. And it might be because of the subways, right? So it could be because of the subways, because they go and they touch everything on the subways. I think it is going to hit Africa next. I saw Africa there. I think that's going to happen. Florida, obviously, because everybody from New York was so afraid, they just took off to Florida. So they took it with them on their luggage and off they went on the airplanes. So they took it in there in North Carolina. But I still feel we have about 3 more months of this. But in 1 month, if we don't have it, then I don't see why we need to be quarantined. I really don't. I'm not a doctor, but I don't see it. So that's what I'm going to say, because he was. I don't know what he was. Okay, 200 deaths at the time in January, close to 1,000 every day. Okay, what country was that? Channeling, I can't read it. Okay, 2,000 deaths. Where is that from? That's here in all of the United States. Yeah, that's what I just read. I don't know. It could have gone up since I read that. Yeah, I'm just thinking energetically, though, it's a disease that's pulling us back down. Another thing with the virus that I picked up, I've been told this too, to have a friend, that it wasn't like a live virus, but I actually think, as I was saying earlier, it's like DNA restructuring of our DNA. So I do think it's being dropped out of the sky somewhere, or whatever, the way it's projecting itself. It's changing the structure of the human DNA. That might be what we're seeing, and that might be why it's so scary, and it might be why they can't do it. However, it doesn't change the fact that there's nothing you or I can do if we wash our hands, if we do this. The first minute you have to go to the grocery store, you're putting yourself at risk. So stop doing that. Like, not going, you have to go to the grocery store, so you're walking out in public. So assume you're going to be okay and do the best you can do, and that's all you can do. Right? Clinton's. Okay. An alien virus. Exactly. Pop-up mortuary. Okay. I don't know what that means. Yeah, the Clintons. Okay. So what can I say about that? I'm not going to say anything yet about that. No, I'm just not. Okay. I'm not worried. Good. Okay. So Eminem. Yeah, I don't like Eminem. Meaning I don't want to talk about him. Fox News live ticker. Yeah. Who puts a live ticker on their TV show? Let's put a ticker of people that get stuff. Yeah, stop watching the news. How about that? Maybe we won't be afraid. Let's practice watching the news one day. Joe Biden, if he wins, y'all are crazy. Just look up Joe Biden touches little kids. Watch the videos. Don't vote for him. I mean, unless you want to, do whatever you want. But I think we need to watch the news maybe like 1 time a day. And then we won't be so oversaturated with it, because there's actually people that are literally scared. Like, they're wearing face masks, and if you walk down the aisle, they're like, they're ducking like this, and it's like, okay, that's a little bit unnecessary. You're the one with the mask on. It's quite all right. You're safe according to you. And now I'm safe because you have your mask on. So when you cough inside your mask, I'm not going to get it. But I think it's more about raising the energy. So that's what I would say. I would say it has a lot more to do with raising the energy and raising the vibration. So that's why we're going to do the prayers. And that's why we're going to pray. That is what we're going to do, those of us that want to. Also, another thing is when you are thinking of something, there's an energy shift you can do. Okay, if I can explain it to you. So if you think of something that's scary or whatever, like a monster movie when you're little and scary, there's an energy shift you can do. So let's say you're this way and you think of the monster movie. You can actually literally turn your body, and as you're turning your body, think another thought. So the monster movie scares you, but you like flowers. So you can say monster movie and then go like over here and change your direction of your body while you're saying the thing you like. That actually shifts the way your brain focuses on it. So that's something you might want to try. So when you're afraid here, turn your head and I don't know, whatever you like, mention it, like ice cream. I turn my head for ice cream. Do that because you have to get your mind trained not to go to the worst case scenario. So it is a real exercise right now in mentally remaining strong, mentally harnessing your energy. It really is. So this is what we're going to do. Remember last night when we were looking at Chris Cornell, Chester, and the man that was here that we'll call a dancer with the big hat, we were taking, the reason we were taking 4 people to pray whose names we didn't know, the reason we were doing that is because we were bringing 4 kids' name front and center. So 4 missing children. So as we prayed in 4s, I was told that if we do that, we're going to get the names. Apparently, all these names are going to be uncovered. You'd have to watch the video to see what I said because I can't really remember it, everything. But it was in the act of 4s, and there would be the 4 people that we pray for also bring 4 names forward of kids that actually have been deceased. It was really weird, but that's what I got too. That's another thing that we have to do. We don't have to, but if this is the point, this is what we need to do. Also, physical exercise is so important for your mental health. We all need to do it. So however you can get exercise is what you need to do because it's going to be so much better for all of us if we are happy mentally rather than like plotting in our houses on how to escape. So that's what I wanted to say. Now, I may or may not be back tomorrow. I may take a day off and I'm not sure. But other than that, everybody be happy, be joyous. I am abundantly healthy now. I am abundantly happy now. Those are our mantras because that's what we are. And then we're going to say our prayers for people. This is done privately. You don't go outside and have to do this. This is before you go to bed, just like when you were a little kid, if you did that. And you're going to pray for the people, and especially the 4 new people that you don't know. 4 names that you hear somewhere. I don't care if they're your kids' friends, 4 names, or the neighbor's friends, 4 names. You're going to pray. I'm going to pray. This is what we're doing. We're just going to do this every night until we start including people that maybe nobody's thinking about because maybe people aren't thinking about them. And we're going to pray that people stay healthy, people stay focused on how valuable they are, and people understand that the energy's shifting. So you kind of have to shift with the energy. And that's what we're going to do. I mean, that's the goal on this channel. That's the goal we're going to do. All right, you guys, it was good to see everybody, although my eyes, you are abundantly happy and healthy now. Okay, I can't even see this. John, yeah, you know what? I know you're asking about that little boy. I haven't thought about it. I'm going to have to think about it. I'm hesitant to answer till I actually feel I'm confident in my answer with that. Okay, you guys, have a good night and happy day tomorrow. And apparently... Oh yeah, that was another thing I wanted to say. Apparently there's something going around saying to stay in on the 31st first, but I think they're actually talking about the Mars-Saturn aspect. So I think what that is things that have been going slowly, maybe be speeded up, and there may be more anger issues during that time. That's what I think. So be prepared for that because there's a Mars-Saturn aspect happening on the 31st and 1st. So that energetically is going to cause a little bit more conflict when people don't move out of other people's ways, whatever the hell that means. Okay, so you guys have a good night And I will see you soon. Mwah. Peace out.